Hey, good day, 7th graders. Today, I hope you're blown away by the grammar lesson because grammar is so exciting. And today we're going to actually study underlining and italics and using titles in writing. And so I need you to get out an erasable pen or a pencil, a highlighter, and your English workshop book, and let's get ready to learn a little bit that you're going to need to know for a quiz. And so you want to pay very particular attention today to this lesson so that you feel prepared. I'll let you get out your supplies, your books, your writing utensils, and I'll wait just a moment until you're set and ready, okay? Okay, now that you have your book out, I need you to turn to page 279, and you'll read at the top, underlining, italics. And once you get to that page, we'll get started. If at any time during this video you need to pause the video so that you can work a little longer or so that you can get out your supplies a little longer, you may do that. But it's completely up to you since you're listening on earbuds, and so you work this the way that you learn best, all right? Okay, at the top of the page there's Rule 21A, and I want you to do a little bit of highlighting. Use underlining or italics for titles of books, plays, periodicals, which means magazines, films, television programs, works of art, long musical compositions, ships, aircraft, and spacecraft. And if you look below, you see some good examples of all of those. And I'd like for you to actually read through that entire blue box, the type of name of the work, and then the examples of the work. And so I'd like you to pause the video right now and read through all of those so that you get an idea. And then when you're finished reading through that list, I want you to start the video again. Okay, I'd like for you to underline in the pen or the pencil that you're using the note below that long list of examples, and it reads, "The article the is often written before a title, but it is not capitalized unless it is part of the official title." Okay, now further explanation that you don't have to underline. The official title of a book is found on the title page of the book. The official title of a newspaper or periodical magazine is found on the masthead, which usually appears on the editorial page. For example, I read the editorial in the Houston Post. Now, the actual name of the newspaper in Houston is just Houston Post. It's not the Houston Post. So you would not capitalize the in that sentence. And then I wrote an extra sentence example for you. I received the Fort Worth Star Telegram from the man at Sam's. And the is not capitalized in it either because our newspaper here in Fort Worth is actually entitled Fort Worth Star Telegram. And so the is just acting as an article in this sentence, okay? Now let's underline highlight Rule 21B. Used underlining or italics for words, letters, and figures referred to as words, letters, or figures in the sentence, and for foreign words. Let's look at the examples. The words bite and bite are homophones. The next one, the word does not have an E at the end. The next one, there are 2 digits in 10. And then the last, do you like to eat akara? And that's obviously a foreign word. I don't even know what it is, but I perhaps mispronounced it, so I apologize. Okay, I need you now to turn to page 280, and you're going to, in a moment, pause the video, and I want you to complete both exercise 1 and 2. Let's read the instructions for exercise 1. For each sentence below, underline the word or item that should be italicized, and underlining will represent that. And then in exercise 2 it reads, in the sentences below, underline each word or item that should be italicized. So it's the exact same instructions for both exercises. I need you to do all of exercise 1, which is 1 through 10, and then in exercise 2 I need you to do number 1 through 5. Pause the video right now and work through all of these, and then when you finish, I'd like for you to turn the video on and I want you to check all of your answers. Now, as you're checking your answers, you may need to pause the video there as well so that it stays on the screen and you can make sure that you have done them all correctly. Okay, now that you've turned the video back on, you can see I've marked all the answers, and I need you to check your answers very carefully. As I mentioned before, you're about to take a quiz, and so I want to make sure you understand why each one is marked the way it is. You may need to look back at the lesson and think, oh yeah, that's because it's the name of a play, or oh yeah, it's the name of a TV episode, or a TV, not episode, but a TV show or something. So look back at the rules when you need to. I'll let you pause the video right now and correct anything that you got wrong so that you know how to do it correctly on the quiz. Pause the video. Okay, now I need you to turn to page 255. 255, and the title of the assignment is going to be titles. And actually on this page we're really only going to look at rule number 3 down on the page, and so right now turn to that page and I will tell you what to highlight on rule number 3. Okay, rule number 3 has a lot of markings, and I'd like for you to try to emulate the markings I made. So if I underline something, please underline it, or if I highlight something, please highlight it. Now, you may not have red or blue pens. You can just use your pen or pencil, okay? So let me read it. Capitalize the first and last words and all important words in titles of books, periodicals, poems, short stories, historical documents, movies, television programs, works of art, and short musical compositions. Now let's underline the next part. Unimportant words in titles include articles, a and the, coordinating conjunctions, and, but, for, nor, or, so, yet, and prepositions of fewer than 5 letters, by, for, on, with. Now all of those are examples, and we're going to look at some of the titles below. The book title, A Tale of Two Cities. Of is not capitalized because it's a preposition with less than 5 letters. The periodical, the magazine, the Chicago Tribune. The poems are all poems, and here's an example. The Hollow Men, stories, The Open Window. Historical documents, Bill of Rights. Notice of is not capitalized because it's a preposition of less than 5 letters. Movies, In the Line of Fire. Notice the is not capitalized because it's an article, but interestingly, the in is a preposition. Now it's capitalized because it's the first word of the title. Next one, television programs, 60 Minutes. Works of art, View of Toledo. Of is a preposition of less than 5 letters, that's why it's not capitalized. And then short musical works, a minor variation. Now let's do this. Notice anything that's short up there, like a poem. It has quotation marks around it. A story has quotation marks around it. The longer ones, like a book, is italicized. Or the movie title is italicized, or the television program is italicized. So I just want you to take note of that, because you're about to take a quiz that's going to test whether you know when to italicize and when to put quotation marks around a title. Okay, now I'd like for you to turn the page to page 256, and I only want you to do the numbers that are highlighted in yellow on the screen, and so that would be number 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, and 15. We didn't study the other title rules right now, so we're going to skip some of these. So that's why I want you to do just those numbers. And what I'd like you to do is to follow the directions. In the sentences below, underline each error in capitalization. Write your correction in the space above the error. Well, I think if you just draw a line underneath the letter that should have been capitalized, that'll suffice. and you don't need to rewrite the words, okay? So what I'd like for you to do right now is to do the highlighted ones only, underline the letters that should have been capitalized, and then when you get to number 15, it's a little bit odd because in that one there are actually words that should not have been capitalized, and we'll take a special look at that one when you check your answers. So right now, pause the video, do the numbers, and when you finish, turn the video back on and we'll check your answers. Okay, check your answers now and be very careful. If you missed one, go back and look at the rules again and see why you missed it. And I want you to look especially at number 15. It's odd. I put an underline, actually it's a line above the above the letters that shouldn't have been capitalized in number 15. It's really odd. In number 15, in the title of Sunday in the Park with George, it's interesting. The words in and the shouldn't, and with, none of those should be capitalized because in is a preposition, the is an article, and with is a coordinating conjunction. So I had to do the opposite. I put them above, and I don't know if that's the right editing mark, but just know that that's what that means in this assignment, okay? That's really strange. But so check your marks very carefully because you will need to know this for the quiz that you're about to take. I'll give you some time to check. If you need to pause this video right now, that'd be great. Okay, now that you've checked your work, we are going to get out your daily language, and you're going to do sentence number 4. And so right now I'd like for you to look at sentence number 4 and correct it, and pause the video as you're doing that, okay? So correct it, and then we'll check it together. All right, looking at the corrected sentence number 4, it reads, "This summer we read 3 novels that were outstanding," said Hannah. "The Outsiders was my favorite." Now the first thing I want you to notice is that there are 2 sentences here. The first sentence, "This summer we read 3 novels that were outstanding," said Hannah, and the subject is we, and the predicate is read. Okay, simple subject and predicate. The second sentence is, "The Outsiders was my favorite." Now they're both said by Hannah, but this is also a complete sentence. The Outsiders is the simple subject and was is the simple predicate. And so you know you're going to have a period in there to separate both of these. Now please notice that I put quotation marks around the first the piece of dialogue, and I capitalized the letter T in this at the beginning of the sentence, and I put a comma after the word outstanding, said Hannah. Hannah is capitalized because it's a proper noun, it's the name of a young lady, and then there's a period after Hannah because that ends that complete sentence. Quotation marks begins the next part of her statement, which is dialogue that starts the new sentence. Capitalize the outsiders, the for 2 reasons. It's the first word in the sentence, but also it's a part of the title, the outsiders of the novel Outsiders. Notice I've underlined the title, The Outsiders, and then was my favorite, period, end quote. And so what I'd like you to do now is to rewrite this sentence correctly, and pause the video as you do that, and I'll show you my example of it right here. Okay, you can see my example. It's written out. If you have any questions, just come and see me. I know I'm conferencing with people, but just wait between if you have any questions at all. And then after you understand this sentence, I need you to put everything away, your iPad, your English workshop book, and all I want on your desk is a pencil or an erasable pen because you're about to take a quiz. Okay, that's it today for the lesson in the daily language, and what I want you to do right now is to go to the front of the room. There's a stack of papers. It's the daily language quiz. It's very short, and I want you to complete the daily language quiz, and when you finish, take it back to the same table, face down, place it in a stack next to the quiz stack, and then you're finished for the day. When you're finished with your quiz, I want you to find something to do. Obviously, what you're allowed to do on the iPad. Don't play on the iPad. and you will be coming to sit with me, if you have not already, very quickly, because I'm trying to get through conferencing with everyone today. So thank you for paying attention today and for following the directions and making this day go smoothly.